Doreen Granpeesheh is the
Dr. Doreen is an expert in autism.
Doreen Granpeesheh.
Dr. Granpeesheh.
Dr. Doreen Granpeesheh.
Dr. Doreen Granpeesheh is a visionary in the field of autism. Now you can ask her questions on Ask Dr. Doreen.
I'm not sure. Is it Emily? I'm not sure. Says, I experience that people get angry at me a lot. I'm tired of it. It makes me so sad. Why do people get outbursts at me often? And I don't think, Emily, have you given us any more information?
Yeah.
She says, I don't trust people. They just leave me or reject me.
It goes further. She just posted and said, Christians want my autism to go away. It's very hurtful and they want to pray it away like I was filled with demons. I'm a Christian myself. Emily, I am so sorry that you are surrounded by this. I actually had a very, very good friend. He has since passed away, but he was also a Christian. He was a scientist. He was a physician. I met him because he used to actually help me with a lot of my patients, and we published together and so on. And he had a child on the spectrum, and his entire church would pray around the son and kind of try to exorcise autism out of him, which I never really understood. So, I just want to say, without any disrespect to religion as a whole, sometimes people have so much hope for something to change that they don't realize, they don't see the beauty in it, and what actually they don't accept it. It's a great time for us to have this conversation, Emily, because it's Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month, right? And I want to talk about that very quickly because it's first of all, in terms of awareness, I feel it's really important for people to understand a little bit more about autism. I'm still shocked to this day when we have 1 in 44 children and that's 3-year-old data, so it's probably more than that. But when you see that there are children who are being diagnosed and no one, their parents, their teachers, no one really understands autism. And I'm sure people have different views, like for instance, they'll think that autism has mental retardation associated with it, which is absolutely not the case. And, a lot of our children are tested with verbal IQ tests, and their scores come out low because they're having a very hard time understanding language. And of course, as a result, people think, oh, this child doesn't understand. That's not it at all. It's if you and I were tested with an IQ test in Chinese, we would score low as well. And I can't tell you the number of times where I've had even severe children. I mean, I'm thinking of one of my kids, for instance, right now. She's, I think, about 15 now, and completely nonverbal, was always nonverbal, but yet showed signs and had very difficult time communicating, but always was very aware. And now, of course, she is communicating with letterboxing, which works for some children and not all, where you point to letters, but in a very specific type of template.
Yeah.
And her communication is so incredibly advanced. It's mind-blowing. The paragraphs and paragraphs that she communicates. And so I just want to say that it is really important for people to, first of all, be aware that autism is a unique disability that we receive information in a very different way when we have autism. We have sensory dysregulation. So the things we see, the things we hear, the things we touch are not regulated with each other or even just regulated on their own. Sometimes we seek a lot of them. Sometimes they bother us, sounds and sights. And so as a result, no question what happens is we learn differently. right? We don't learn language because language and sounds to us like something that's a background noise. We don't learn eye contact because it is extremely difficult perhaps to focus both eyes on the one moving object which continues to change, which is other people's faces. There's a lot of these types of things that people need to understand. Once they understand, then you start to really respect the individual with autism. If you don't understand what autism is about, you're just going to go about and avoid it. This was one of my big messages during this month, was just learn about autism, and not only will you respect individuals who are going through life in this world, which is difficult for them given their sensory differences, but you'll also really you won't be scared of interacting. You won't be afraid of, what am I going to say or what are they going to say? You just become accepting. And this is the message that I want to give you, Emily. I'm just sometimes, people might see autism as a demonic thing or whatever it is, and they're trying to get it out of you because their beliefs are very strong. But there are many more people in the world who will accept you for who you are, who will see the incredible, beautiful side of the talents that you may have that you've not been able to share. And I really recommend that you try to, maybe, given how high functioning you are, maybe you should get a psychologist or someone that you can regularly converse with and share these feelings. Because one of the biggest things that I worry about is the anxiety and depression that a lot of our folks go through because people are not accepting them, because people are not treating them with respect. So, you can't change your family, but you can certainly change the people, your friends, maybe. And you can certainly seek out a safe place where you have a psychologist that you can talk to.
Yeah. I think ignorance is really a terrible thing. And willful ignorance is horrible, right? And there are some people who are willfully ignorant. I like to make room in my life for the fact that there was a day and a time when I didn't know what I know about autism right now, and yet I was capable of learning. I'm still learning.
Yeah.
I want to be that student in the front row learning. But there was a day and a time when I didn't know, and that maybe these people are just in that place on the journey, but we can't take on their ignorance. And make it a part of our daily anything, because it's not fair to you, Emily. But she said thank you so much for the support, and many of you have written into her, and she said she will get a psychologist, and thank you. So that's wonderful. Wonderful.
If you found anything helpful in this video, please give us a like. In fact, make sure that you smash that subscribe button on YouTube and give us a like on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram for important updates. And please download our free podcast wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now.
To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.